ago. We have a really exciting call today. We have Kevin Marino on the phone with us from Asirvia. Vince and I have been talking a lot with Kevin over the last week or two, making this possible. Kevin is you are the CEO of Asirvia, and you know, there's so much really to talk about. Kevin's going to be the expert in really talking to you about what Asirvia does and what the service brings. But we talk a lot about marketing and the services that we have to help businesses market themselves. And bringing Asirvia now into the picture is just going to completely change the game. So Kevin is going to be doing most of the talking here today. I'll be doing the screen sharing as we kind of adventure through this new product together, and new service. Haven't worked with Kevin for a long time, although I feel like I've worked with him a lot longer. We've been working together now really well, and we're just both excited to introduce this opportunity to you guys and to the business owners that you work with. So I would like to introduce Kevin Marino from Asirvia. Kevin, the floor is all yours.
Hey, thank you very much. Really appreciate the intro, and looking forward to doing a lot of work with you guys. And basically, just to give you a quick little background, been in and out of the network marketing industry, leader, trainer, built monster teams over a 26-year career. So I'm very familiar with the ins and outs of what goes on in the profession. The making the move over to corporate was one that was new to me, corporate in network marketing. Have a business background, but corporate and network marketing. What we put together is, we feel, is a product that transcends network marketing. It is something that can help every business in America, because basically every business is looking for exposure. Exposure is what every business out there needs. If nobody knows about you, if nobody sees you, if nobody hears about you, you're not going to have business. You're not going to have the potential of having customers. We don't tell everybody that our Go product is the answer and it's the super, it's the magic pill. What we teach people to do, though, is utilize the Goes to really just give people the knowledge that they are in business and give them a really good offer. And, you're going to hear a lot about the Asirvia and the Asirvia Go. And what it is, it's a proximity marketing device. You can carry it around with you. It's a little, call it a disc. We call it a Go. Other people in the industry call them beacons. And the reason we've separated ourselves is we are quickly becoming the Kleenex in the beacon industry. We're not facial tissue. We're Kleenex. So we don't consider ourselves a beacon. We consider ourselves a Go. And there's a few reasons for that. And I'm just going to give you comparisons of what's out there. The majority of beacons that are in the industry are basically give a range of 35 to 100 meters. And our product, our old one, we have one that we just retired, but a lot of folks still have it out there because it works really well. And we call that one the Go 100. The Go 100 goes up, broadcasts up to 100 yards. We moved into proprietary technology that we had engineered and built just for us. And what we decided we wanted to do is separate Asirvia from everybody else out there. We really wanted to make the Go special, so more and more people would just start referring. When they were looking for something in the proximity field, they would start to look for a Go as opposed to looking for a generic beacon. That's our goal going out there. So the new Go that we just developed and we released approximately a month ago at a big event now broadcasts up to 400 meters. So we call it the Go 400. And we have another one coming out that's the 400 is one that you can take with you. It's about the size of a silver dollar but thicker is the easiest way to describe it. It's like a big coin. It's a thick coin. People put it in their pockets. Some people hook it to their keychains because it comes with a rubber band, or I should say a neoprene band around the outside that hooks to a keychain very easily. So people put them in a lot of different places. That's the travel one. There's also a stationary one that's coming out, one that will be plugged in, and that will be called the Go 1000. Obviously, it will be 1,000 meters, so there's a little bit of difference between the two. When you think about and compare the Go to the rest of what's out there, even at 100 meters, what our 100 did, going up to 400 meters, people need to understand that that's actually an increase in coverage of 16 times. It's not 4 times the coverage. It's actually 16 times the coverage. Approximately, the 400 will cover approximately 92 football fields in area. So that should give you just a kind of in your head when you start to think of the distance and what it does. Now, some of you are probably sitting down here saying, okay, what exactly does it do? Well, a proximity marking device, what it does is it emits a signal. All right, and that signal is picked up by Android phones via Google Nearby. And what the phone does, it goes out, grabs the information, and it displays it on your phone in the message section. So if you're sitting in a coffee shop, having a meeting with somebody, and your Go is there with you, anybody that comes in and out of that coffee shop that has an Android device has the ability to see your message. Now, that message on the basic service, we have a couple different levels of service. Basic service, it's pretty simple and straightforward. It's a 40-character message and a hot link to wherever you want it to go. It can go to a Facebook page, can go to your business page, can go to a funnel. It can go wherever you want to send it. It just needs to be a secure site. It can't be a random site out there. It must be a secure site. That's one of the Google parameters. We also have the ability to offer a plus service. Now, Go Plus is an additional service on top, and what that does, instead of just 40 characters and a link to wherever you want it to go, it actually comes up like an ad on somebody's phone. So when somebody clicks on it, instead of just popping to a funnel or wherever you wanted it to go, it'll first come to a full color ad. You can have photos in there. You can have a YouTube video. You can have a further description of what it is. It can be saved or shared to an Android wallet or an Apple wallet. It has more information. It has call me now, or it has share it to Facebook. So all of this is available with the Go Plus service. So, and that's an optional service, not required. We do like people to know it's available. The pricing we have is quite simple. We've done everything right now is all at 50% off. So when you're looking at the pricing, you realize that we're right in the middle of the market, even though we offer more than anybody else, which is nice. So typically our packages are 3, 5, and 8 are the bottom 3 packages that are the most popular with folks, small business owners. We do a lot of larger packages with larger businesses. So you will run into people that want much larger packages, but I'm just going to focus on the 3, 5, and 8 for now. So the regular price on that is $139 with 50% off. It's $69 a month for 3 of them. 5 normally is $199. It's $99 a month. The 8 is normally $259. Is for $129. So that's either 3, 5, or 8 Goes. Now the Goes themselves, we supply at no cost. People only pay for the service. There is a loss replacement fee if somebody loses one. The batteries in them are good for, we tell people, up to 12 months. In the testing that we've done, they're telling us that they will go further. They haven't been out yet for 12 months, so I cannot give you a history on that. It's a very inexpensive battery to replace, and it takes about 10 seconds to do it. We have a quick little pop open door on the back, swap the battery out. It's a little coin battery. Lock the door back in. It really is a piece of cake. Doesn't even require a tool. So it's something we try to make as easy as possible for folks. And that's really it. As we go forward here, what I will tell you is that the pricing will increase. But what we do at Asirvia is we always grandfather in the people that are already in our system. So if people have 3 goes at, they're at $69 and the price goes to $99 for those 3 goes, you are locked in at the $69. And that's been our plan. That's what we do for our customers. And as we go forward, that's what we always plan on continuing to do, because, we love the fact that there's a lot of people out there that are willing to come to us early on, jump in, see what we're doing, take part in the technology, give us feedback, because we love feedback, and we're just trying to put out the best product we can, give people really good customer service, and then bring out the next piece of technology as we go forward here that obviously all of our customers have available to them first before anybody else. With that, Vince, do you have any specific question? Oh, wait, actually, I didn't throw in the Go Plus. I apologize. The Go Plus, for instance, if you have 3 or 5 or 8, you can add Go Plus on to 1 of yours or 2 of yours or 3. So you don't have to get 3 Go Plus on your 3 Go. So you could have 1 on Plus and 2 on regular. It's $19 a month for any Plus that you want to add. So if you have 8, you can add 3 of them. You can have 5. You can add all 8. So it's totally what we do is we try to make it a la carte, so you can actually build a package that works best for you. Now I think I've covered everything.
Well, there's always more. Wait, there's more. Hey, could you kind of tell us, I know that there's Royalty Gym out there, and there's some other ones. When I first got in contact with, I started searching around. Can you kind of tell how you're more competitive than them, and what you've done in the market? I know this was a good conversation you and I had before.
Sure. Basically, as I was kind of generically referring to everybody out there, is they're typically 35 to 100 meters in range. And we're up to 400, and then as soon as the 1,000 comes out, then we're up to 1,000 meters in range, which really gives us a enormous advantage in the marketplace. The other thing that gives us an enormous advantage is the Go Plus service that anybody can do a quick add-on, have a full color ad. They can share it. They can call the person immediately from it. They can save it to the wallets. They can share it to whoever they want. So, there's a couple things that are huge advantage for what we do, and some of the new services that we'll be having to come out. Our goal, and you'll hear me refer to this as I do more work with you guys and with your company. My belief is it's not about the early bird gets the worm. Because the early birds in technology get beat up. They don't really know what's going on. They take a lot of bullets. They try to struggle. I believe in the second mouse gets the cheese. We are that second mouse. We learn from what a lot of people did stupidly over the last 2, 3, 4 years. We learn from that. Our goal, like I said, is to become Kleenex. Kleenex wasn't the first seller of facial tissues. They just did it better than anybody else. So now we all think of Kleenex when we go into the store to buy them. And, so our goal is to follow in that type of model, that type of footsteps, and become Kleenex.
Yeah. Well, I've been very impressed. And then also, can you just talk a little bit about a little more detail of all the things. I know you said people are doing this for, using it for things you never even thought of. Can you talk a little more in depth about what people are using these for and how they're being effective with it?
Sure. So first off, we have everybody from network marketers using them to UPS. So when you think about that for a second, you don't really, it doesn't equate sometimes that a network marketer and UPS are buying from the same person, but yet they are here. And the reason for that is the product is really customer-based. So a networker can utilize it to advertise their different businesses and run, because each go that you have, if you have 8 of them, you can run them to 8 different pages if you want. You can split test all over the place. You can see which messages are working the best, which aren't, because one of the things I always talk to people about is that, occasionally we'll get somebody that says, hey, I'm getting some exposures, but I'm not getting any click-throughs. I say, great, what are you using for bait? What's your message? What's your line out there? What do you bring into people? Because, and one of the guys was selling life insurance, and his tagline, his 40-character message was about death. And I'm like, you're just not going to get a lot of people clicking on that. So it's a matter of putting a good message out there. So we have people that are giving away a free estimate. There's some roofers down in Texas that are doing a phenomenal job with it. They have, whenever they're working in an area, they have the goes out in their truck, and they put them in strategic places around the neighborhood that basically says, are you hearing a lot of noise from us? Click here. They split test. So some of them say, are you hearing roofing noise? Click here. They have a whole bunch of them. And basically what they do is they funnel people to a page that says, hey, we're in your neighborhood. We're installing a roof on one of your neighbor's houses. We're going to try to keep it as quiet as we can during the off hours. We make sure we'll clean everything up so you don't get any flat tires. But while we're here, if you'd like a free estimate, click here, fill out the form. And they've been able to pick up a significant increase in business because they're marketing to the entire neighborhood while they're up on the roof. So it gives the ability to have somebody working your business even when you're busy doing your business. That's been a big one. Come in for a buy one, get one free on drinks, on entrees for restaurants. Ice cream, buy one, get one free has been a huge one. A couple different businesses are giving away $200 travel vouchers just for coming in. So there's a lot of ways people are using them. UPS actually got them from us to try and fill up their seasonal hiring in November. So it was early November. They ordered them, they implemented them, they put them on the trucks. It normally takes them 4 weeks to fill up, 4 to 5 weeks. So by the middle of December, they're really, they've been building up the entire time, and that's when they stop hiring, is middle of December. They actually had to turn them off and change them to other ads because they filled up their seasonal hiring prior to Thanksgiving. So they were very excited over them. And they're looking actually to expand throughout the U.S. We're talking to major car companies, large timeshares who always need advertising out there. They always have free offers. They're using it for a free dinner, to come in for a walkthrough. They have different vouchers for the casinos. There's a lot of different things that they're giving away out in Vegas. We actually have one of the largest timeshares out there that's utilizing them. So, and then there's different people who are trying to grow their Facebook followings, Twitter followings, who are kind of famous, who are starting to use them. So they asked us not to utilize their names yet. They want to go through, they want to get more results, and then they said, once we get the results and we're happy with it, then you can start telling people that we use them. So we said, great. Looking forward to being able to name drop a few names, so that's going to be exciting. And but I'll tell you, from there, it's just, more and more people coming up with more and more different ideas. And I think the industry that has grabbed it and hung on with both hands the most is the real estate industry. Think about being able to have a go in every single listing, and when they click on it, it goes right to where they have a video and a live walkthrough. So there's so many different things that are happening, and there's going to be a number of templates being developed as we go forward that'll really focus on different industries, from service industries to restaurants to real estate, all different types of templates for different industries. That'll be all included in the Go Plus.
Well, that's exciting. Yeah, I can just see it's so far-reaching what you can do. What I love about this is it's such a simple but highly powerful dynamic. And I had a couple questions also. And Kevin, I appreciate your humor. You guys get to know Kevin; he's pretty funny, actually. And I like your joke about the second mouse gets the cheese. That is so true.
It is.
You got some good analogies. I had a question. Do you guys do teaching on ads, like how to help people with their ads and all that? Because you brought up some bad examples. Do you guys have some videos? I never asked you this before. Actually, just came up as you were talking on helping people with their put the message out.
We're starting to put some together. What we're doing is we're not going to put out that, here are ads that are working for people. We have to be careful in that way, because we had started to do that, and then you end up with non-intelligent people who will use somebody else's ad that was pulling well for a completely non-related service that they are offering, and then complain and tell us that we misled them into this one really pulled well and got some conversions. Meanwhile, it didn't work for them. So it's kind of crazy sometimes. We all know the folks that are out there and some of the craziness that ensues. But, so we've tried to really kind of let people know that this is these are the types of things. We give them words that Google doesn't rank well. So we give them the list of those words. So you could take those words, you can check them out. So when you're putting your ads together, there's certain ones that you don't want. I mean, there's a whole list of words, and some of them you look at, and it's like elsewhere. That one always comes to mind. I mean, elsewhere. Not that I would think I would use that in an ad, in a 40-character message, but it's one of the words that they suggest you don't use. One that really draws people attention is free. Anytime that you can have a free offer for someone, you can do a free estimate, you can do a free review, you can do a free anything for someone. It's an enormous draw. Free information, free book, free this. Whatever you do free, people will click on more. So we will be doing, we're going to be doing some webinars and some different work on, creating ads. And we actually have some specialty people. I always recommend, if you don't mind, there's a book I always recommend by Big Al, Tom Schreider, who's actually a very good friend, and he's got one-liners. He's got icebreakers and he's got one-liners. The books are like $2 a piece. It's phenomenal. You can just grab them, and what's nice is his little things. If you can work the information you need with some of what he has, you'll get more clicks, and that's, again, we're helping people to get exposures, but then from that exposure, you need to have some good bait, so you need to get some good clicks on it.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's like, it's creating a funnel, which is just usually the free, which is your magnet offer, and then bringing them in to a tripwire sell, and then to your core offers, then to a big ticket item. A couple other questions too. Could you talk a little more about, I know you guys have iPhone capability now and Android. I know there's, maybe you can kind of talk about some of the myths about iPhone and how there's more Android users, but maybe talk a little bit about that.
Sure. A lot of times people think that, iPhone users are the biggest segment of the population. They're actually not. They're less than 30% in the U.S., less than 15% outside the U.S. So that's something that when we first started, everybody thought, why are you going for the minority? Why aren't you going for the majority? And so rest assured, Android devices are in excess of 60% of the market. Google Nearby comes with pretty much every Android device now. I don't know of any they don't. I would say it comes with all of them, but there might be one or two here that I'm unfamiliar with that it does not. So I'll say almost all. You'll know that I try to I try to qualify things just so we don't get any somebody finds that one phone it doesn't come with. So whether it's a tablet, whether it's a phone, no matter what it is, if it's an Android device, it has Nearby, and you can see the notifications that come up. You can click on them and follow through. You can do all that. On the iPhone side of things, sometimes people say, well, why aren't you doing it? Here's the simple answer. There is nobody that is in this sector now that does iPhones. The only way an iPhone can see a beacon, any beacon, whether it's an Eddystone, which is the Android version, or whether it's an iBeacon, which is is related to the iPhones. The only way anybody can see any of those from an iPhone is if they download an app. So when you think about getting iPhone users to be able to see it, how would you tell strangers, hey, download this app so you can see my beacon? Or download this app so you can check out our Go, the message from our Goes. It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. So we've gone at it in a completely different direction. Our goal is to be the first, and it's actually not out yet. It should be out this month. We're going to be offering a beta version. Not going to charge any extra for it. Going to totally include it free for all of our users. And what will happen is the Goes that we are sending out currently, we already have programmed for Eddystone and iBeacon. So both of the programming is in there. And what it'll do once we're tweaking the programming now. We have it showing sometimes, but not showing at others. So we're going to keep working on it. It is a beta version. I'm making sure everybody understands it's beta. So what we're selling is Android. We're letting you know that it's going to show on the Androids, the Nearby, that's what it's going to do. And we're going to give everybody free of charge as soon as it's available. We'll give them the beta version of the iOS. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. No, hopefully everyone on this call can see that this company and Kevin, what he has here is very unique. And I just want to say this. What happened originally was I think Troy first brought it to me, and then Ron brought it to Jeremy, and I just started getting calls everywhere. And then Keith saw, hey, Vince, you got to check this product out. I said, I'm already in contact with the owner. But during that time, there was a little bit of a time there where Kevin and I were having a tough time, basically connecting, or he was busy, I was busy. And so during that time, I thought, man, there's so much excitement about this product. I got to get this into Agora or something like this. And so I went around searching, and Jeremy and I, we even put our feelers out there, some other companies, and we did a little more research on it during that time in between, before we actually brokered the deal with Kevin and his company. Some of them didn't get back to us, and I learned quite a bit. And now that I've been able to really take a good look at everything, I am so excited that we ended up going with Kevin and his company, because it's very innovative. They're on the cutting edge, and I can just see that this company's going places. And there's so much excitement about this product, and it really can help business owners out. And it's very affordable too. I mean, most businesses $69 a month. I mean, that's nothing. I mean, I know Keith has broken some really big deals with what he's got going on. Could you also talk a little bit about how MLMers or like real estate, or how this could really benefit an MLM, how they would utilize it? Like for people on the phone, how if they wanted to get it, how it would help them.
Yeah. Again, the real cool thing about, in network marketing, one of the things that we do is we go and we sit and we have coffee with people, and we do different things, and we run different, how many meetings can you have, one-on-ones can you have during the day? Those that are also successful are typically doing 3, 5, 10 a day. But during those periods of time, you're down. you're not creating leads. You're not following up on people. You're not doing anything to put more new blood in your pipeline. And so what happens is you go do all those meetings, and then at night or whenever you're not in those meetings, then you're working crazy trying to do that. What's nice with the Goes is as long as you always have them with you, you have them in your car, you have it in your pocket or your purse or wherever wherever you go, wherever you're doing those meetings. If you're going into Starbucks or Panera Bread, or I always suggest meeting in a place that's got some serious traffic, because at that point in time, when you're sitting there for 30 minutes or 60 minutes going through and talking with people, you don't worry that you're spending extra time, getting to know somebody, maybe, getting them signed up, getting them ready to go, maybe doing a little training with them. You don't worry about that because your go is working the entire time. And it's giving you exposure, and hopefully, and here's what it's not there to make the sale for you. What it's there to do is it's the beginning of a new conversation. So if it can handle the first part of a new conversation for you and then give you the ability to know who wants to talk to you, so then you can follow up, you can then set your next set of appointments much more quickly than starting from scratch after a day of meeting with people. So that's the goal with networkers. They've used it and are using it very successfully to do that. As far as the realtors, we're actually going to be going national with the realtor associations, because any of the brokers that have seen these already have jumped on them. The real estate agents that have been using them, we have a few that have been using them in the Atlanta area, are just so excited because they've used them and gotten results and sold houses at a faster rate than they typically do. And the way one of them said it to me, he goes, all I need to do is sell one house more per year, and I've paid for the use of everything, because he's got a lot of them. He goes, I've paid for all of this and then some just by selling one more. So he was very excited about it. He goes, then at that point in time, he goes, my marketing's free, and however many more I sell during the year, if it's 2 or 3, he goes, that's all additional profit that I wouldn't have gotten the year prior. And, these are people that do a significant amount of advertising and marketing, but they knew there was something missing. They knew that there's many people that are in the neighborhood, but they don't know anything about the house. They don't know how to get that information, or they pop onto a Zillow or something like that. And it just, for them to be going by and have it pop up on their phone, or if they live in the neighborhood and it's popping up on their phone, that they can pass that information to their friends and family or whatever to check it out in the neighborhood. That's very exciting to them also. So they were using the 100s very successfully. They're using the 400s, which really extended their reach. They said that their draw has increased even more. So they really are looking forward to the 1000s that come out, because that's actually, obviously, it's 100 times more coverage than the Go 100. So it's
and
really
that one's got more reach because you're plugging it in, right? So it's got more power.
You're plugging it in. Correct.
Yeah.
And that one also works not just on Bluetooth. That also works on Wi-Fi as well.
Wow. Jeremy, I know some people have some questions. If you could tee them up. If those of you that have questions, if you guys could, if everyone could get unmuted, and then we'll get ready. I have a couple more questions, and we'll get ready. Just get them ready to go. You guys have your phones ready. One other question here too that I had. When it comes to these real estate agents, so they're putting them by the homes basically, and that's how they're hitting the proximity. People are coming in that area, and then what? They're obviously putting their just around town, different, like they're probably in their car, right, as they drive around and wherever they go.
Yes, most of them. The busy realtors typically grab 12 to 20 of the devices, and what they do is they put them in All right, I'll give you a couple things. I'm not telling people to do this. I'm just telling you what I've been told they've been doing with them. I'll relay the information. They turn them on and leave them in their local Starbucks. They leave them in their local, in their real estate office, obviously. But anything that's a busy gathering place in the neighborhoods that they work, besides having one in every listing, they put a Go in the differing gathering places. And I say Starbucks just because that's where most of them have taken to leaving them, because there's a significant amount of traffic that comes through.
Yeah. Now, also, you mentioned earlier about people in the car industry. So they just have, like on car lots, is that what you're talking about? How are they using them for the car industry?
Well, in the car industry, a lot of people come through when the businesses are closed because people are working. Sometimes on Sundays, there's a lot of times where car dealerships aren't open. They've been utilizing them to get people to, letting them know that, hey, we have some special financing, we have a special this or special that. Click here, and what they're doing is they're getting the leads that walked onto their lot when they were closed, and it's helped some of them increase their sales.
Gotcha. And then also for white labeling or co-labeling, actually, could you talk about the bands around the outside? Some people may not know about that because we don't really list that on here, but you could maybe talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So the Go, it just says Go on the face of it. And we have a purple band that goes around the outside, which is the neoprene band that can be hooked to the keychains. That band is removable. We have Asirvia on it in purple, because you'll notice that the purple matches our marketing. Our colors are purple and green, and it's all. I think you actually liked our marketing paraphernalia too. Yes. When you checked it out.
I do. So yeah.
It's very colorful. It's very professional. It's not goofy. There's so many crazy things that we've seen out there. This is very straightforward, very professional. So the purple band that has Asirvia on it obviously is our logo, our branding on there. So if anybody would like to buy X amount and they want to white label them, they can. The band comes right off. You can just pop it off. It takes half a second, and we can hook you up with the people that'll make as many as you like. Typically. There's a small setup charge. Most of the time, the people that have ordered them have been 500 or more, and we can get you pricing on those. You would actually deal directly with those. I don't get in the middle of them, and you can choose colors, and you can choose what you want written on it. So but it takes a while to show up. You're not going to get them in a week. It takes about a month to get those, just so everybody knows.
Okay. And Jeremy, why don't you go ahead and, if you got everyone teed up, and just go down the line here. Whoever has a question, maybe we answered your question. But I know Andy. Let's start with Andy, and Jeremy, you want to take over everyone else with the question asking. Thank you, Kevin. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, Andy, let me make sure Andy is unmuted. Okay, Andy, go ahead. I know you had a couple of comments and a couple of questions there, so go ahead.
Thanks, Jeremy. Kevin. My first question was, this would be very applicable to any franchises like a Subway, Dunkin' Donuts, because you had mentioned Starbucks.
Yes.
McDonald's even, because those are independently owned franchises, correct?
They are.
So if they're running
there's really, I haven't found any industry yet that this wouldn't work for. So you're pretty wide open there.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. And yeah, I mean, every restaurant would probably want this too, because if anyone's just going by a pizzeria,
yes,
that'd be great.
And basically, obviously, it reaches foot traffic extremely well. driving traffic, it's going to be on their phone and then it's going to be gone because, again, it's proximity marketing. So the marketing remains for a short period of time once they've left the proximity. So we are hoping people are not looking at their phones while they're driving. Not a good idea.
Okay, but I mean, they could, like a delivery person could have this on them while they're making a delivery, and the signal would go out to their neighborhood wherever they're delivering delivering the food.
Absolutely, that's actually how UPS. That's how UPS filled up their seasonal hiring so fast because they put them in 100 or 150 trucks around the Indianapolis area. Yeah.
Wow, this is like limitless. Okay. And the other question I had was, could you mention that the author of that book that you mentioned, that's a friend of yours, the one-liners, and what was the other book?
He's got Icebreakers.
Icebreakers.
I think it's Opening Lines and Icebreakers. You can read the titles of his books. His books are very short and to the point.
Right.
And he goes by Big Al. His name's actually Tom. Yeah, Big Al. His name's actually Tom Schreider. I know it's kind of strange, but he's a real good guy.
All right. Tom Schreider, and it's German Schreider.
T-E-R.
Oh, Schreiter. Okay.
Yeah, and you can go to bigalbooks.com.
Big Al Books. Okay. Thank you. All right. That takes care of mine. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Andy.
Kevin.
Awesome. Yep. And then Troy Barry, let me make sure that you're unmuted here. I think you are. Give me just a second. No, Troy, I think you're okay. Troy, you there?
There we go.
Okay, there we go. I think you were muted. All right, Troy, I know you said you had several questions in chat, so.
I do. Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming here. We're real excited about working with you. I do have a few questions. So I was going through, I noticed like in the basic service versus the plus service, it said something about clickable links in the basic, and then in the plus service, it had listed separately like YouTube video link or YouTube video versus and Facebook and then phone and website. I'm curious about what is the difference between, I mean, I would think a link is a link is a link, but what's the difference between those?
Sure. So if you're going to send somebody to your page, sometimes people will go there and they'll click through and you don't know exactly who it is. If you're going to send them to a click funnel, the people that use basic typically use funnel pages because they're just getting them there and they're going to try, they're going to hook them and trip them and do all that thing on the way through. The folks who use the plus, it kind of like shows up like a Groupon on your phone, only with more information. And so the YouTube video or the video that you put in there literally can be viewed from that ad. Meanwhile, there's more information on there. It can be shared to Facebook. They can be called immediately. There's a call button. And then there's also the more info where they can click through to your website or your sales funnel or anything else. It's kind of an intermediary, quick information ad. So it's something that has worked really, really well for folks. And if you don't have a real poppin' website, which most of the folks out there don't, this kind of is a little intermediary for them to give people a better first impression sometimes than actually what their website will.
Cool. Very good. My next question, you mentioned obviously something real exciting for realtors. I used to be a real estate agent. And so I am kind of curious about one thing. So I could picture, I'd put this at all my listings. and open houses and things like that nature. But for example, with the listings, so let's say you have a home that you just listed, and you put one of these Go devices in there. I can picture that working really well. I can also picture a scenario where it could really be annoying for the people in the neighborhood who live there. Is there a way for them to quickly, how do you avoid that scenario? Because you can understand what I'm saying. Like, I live next door, and I'm pulling in. Every time I pull into my driveway, I'm getting this message.
Right. You can just hold your finger down on it and mute it.
Okay.
It takes about 2 seconds.
Great.
Yep. And if they don't know that and they keep getting it, if they open nearby, it gives them the option to mute different messages, so they can just click them and mute them. And it's, as Android users, we're kind of used to it, because if you're an Android user, you get lots of messages from Google on a daily basis.
Sure. Okay. And then finally, I think you answered this, but just to be clear, did you say that each device can have a different message?
Absolutely. And it can be changed anytime.
Okay. Very good.
And in not too distant future, within the next 90 days, we will have a scheduling feature. So if you're dealing with people in restaurants, that's the other people that really like the Go Plus, because they can put coupons right there in the ad. Then they can make it available, and people can save it to their e-wallet or share it to somebody that has an iPhone wallet as well. But I scrolled and lost my train of thought. Where was I going?
Regarding the different messages.
Scheduler. That's what I was going at. That's what happens when I scroll. You get used to me doing that as we work more together. So the scheduler could allow them to have a breakfast special, a lunch special, and a dinner special without them having to go in and update their messages. They can just put it in their scheduler, and it would go per day of the week. However they're going to want to do it, we will give them the ability to put all the scheduling in.
That's awesome. Hey, thank you for your time. Knocks all mine out of the park.
All right, thanks.
All right, great questions, Troy. Thanks for bringing those up. We had another one by Ron. Tyler, I think you already addressed that with the beta. He was asking, when is this going to work on an iPhone? And I think we pretty much already talked about that. Do you want to just refresh everybody's memory on that real quick?
Sometime during the month of March, we're expecting the beta version to come live. And when we do, it'll be released to everybody at absolutely no cost. We're not charging for it. We're just going to get as many folks utilizing it and telling us what they're running into, a little bit of feedback, so we can just keep making it better.
Perfect. And then,
hey, Jeremy, we're getting near our time here. So after you say what you're about ready to say, if you could move into the how to do the visit special offer, how to order, and then maybe, Kevin, you could talk, they have to buy the first, the last, and the shipping, just go over a couple things like that. We actually bought some for Agora, so I'm waiting for mine to come in.
Yeah, perfect. I wanted to get through all that stuff. We just had one last question that I saw in here from Donnie. Let me unmute Donnie really quick. Actually, all right, there. Donnie, are you able to hear us? Or
yes.
Talk? I should say, can we hear you? You had a question regarding whether I think it was meters or yards on the distance or something like that.
Yeah, at the very beginning of the call, he had mentioned yards and or meters. So I think in the last, right there where he showed that answered my question. So it is meters.
It is meters. If you mess up and say yards, yards are less than meters, so you're still covered.
Okay.
And I think part
and
of
obviously that has to do with the environment too. So if you're wide out in the open, you're going to have more distance than if you're in a bank, which has a vault on one side and concrete, and so it's going to vary. That's why we always say up to 400 meters.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, great question. Thank you.
Donnie, that would be a good one for that restaurant we just talked to and you're working with, because that could probably reach right over there. Because you said that his restaurant is right there next to, isn't it like that hotel or whatever? It could probably reach right, that whole hotel right there and tap into the whole market.
Yeah. They just built a Hampton Inn there right in front of his restaurant. Yeah, it would definitely.
This would be perfect for him. And the only reason I didn't mention this is because we're still working on getting into Agora. So just food for thought. Okay, Jeremy, back to you.
Yeah, and with that kind of restaurant right there, free delivery. Again, you're giving something free.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. There you go. You got hundreds of people coming through there, probably thousands of people every single month. You're getting your message out to a lot of people that are coming through the area. So Vince brought up a great point, as far as the pricing, and Kevin, jump in at any point in time, but I just want to kind of go back to this. So as you guys see on my screen right now, there are multiple options. Kevin said 3, 5, and 8 are the most popular. That's for the basic. And if you see where it says click here, you'll see a list of features, so it gives you the difference between basic and then also what's included in the plus. The plus is an add-on service. So if you scroll down a little bit here, you'll see that it's $19 a month per go. Okay, so if you have a 3, a 5, or an 8, but maybe let's just say you have a 3 pack of the go. If you only want one of those to have the plus features, then it's $19 an extra per month. If you want all 3 of them, then it would be $57. So that was basically the example that I gave right here. I'm going to highlight it so you guys can see that. You have the option, or your clients have the option, to pick which ones. If it's 1, if it's 2, if it's all of them, that's totally up to them. It's just $19 extra per go. I know we don't really use the term device or unit, so we're saying per go, even though there are a certain amount of devices that you're actually getting. Now, in order for any of you on the phone, if you're interested and you want to pick a few up, or your clients, underneath the Forms tab, where we always keep any sort of links or forms that you have to click on, if you just click where it says there, it's going to take you right over, or special offer site. So I'm going to click over really quick just so you guys can see where this takes us. It's going to ask the country, United States, conveniently right there up at the top. So it's pretty basic, right? First name, last name, email, company, phone number, address, so on and so forth.
Make sure it says Agora at the top.
Yes, it does. That's a great point. Thank you for bringing that up, Kevin. Well, if you guys bring in your clients to here, or you're going there, make sure it says by Agora. Okay, so that's part of the tracking here. If you guys happen to float around or anything like that, just always make sure at the time that you guys are getting ready to put your purchase through or help your client get their purchase through that it does say referred by Agora, so that's tracked and then commissionable back through the compensation plan. So this is some good information to have right here. Any of the packages that you get on the basic package options, whether it's 3 or 100, you're getting a 7-day free trial. Now, one thing I know that you mentioned, Kevin, is it's on one device. So what I mean by that is if you get 3, or your client gets 3, one of those 3 units will have the plus service free for 7 days. Not all of them, just one. So even if you were to get 100, still one of them is going to have it. The other 99 are still going to be the basic, unless you decide to upgrade them all. But you're getting 7 days for free, so they'll try it out. Some important things to know is in the initial payment. The initial payment when you check out is going to include the first and last month. So if you're doing a 3, then you're looking at $138. There's a one-time activation of $30, and then shipping $15, and $30 shipping international. Not in Florida, by the way. And Kevin, you'll get that. At one point in time when we had $30 shipping for Florida, it was an autocorrect on his phone, so I read it as Florida. It actually meant international. So and that's all right here as well, but I just wanted you guys to all see this, that when you go into this checkout, pretty much everything that we have mentioned in the marketplace, you guys will see that here again. I just figured it makes sense for you guys to see that here rather than wait until you get the checkout page to find out that you're paying first and last later, or your client is. And then I just put an example. If a client is getting a 5-go basic service, they're going to pay $99 for the first month, $99 for the last month, a one-time activation of $30 for the user account, and then $15 for shipping. which would be $243 due at checkout, and then it's $99 a month thereafter. And if they want the Plus service, then it would be $19 extra for every Go they decide to put onto that Plus service platform. Any questions on that or any additions that you'd like to put in there, Kevin?
Yep, just one addition, and that would be on the Go Plus. It is first and last, so it would be $19 for first month, $19 for last month. And but there is no activation cost, there's no shipping, obviously no shipping because it's an electronic product or a digital product, however you'd like to refer to that. And the activation has already happened on your account, so your account has already been activated and started and everything. So we don't have to activate an account for the Plus because it's an add-on. But it is still first and last. I just want everybody to understand that. Yes,
and I will definitely get that added in there. That is important to know. In fact, on the commission breakdown, which we put on this particular one, just because there's a lot of different options to choose from, and then the commission tab starts to get really, really long on everybody. So there's just a click here. This will take you over to a document. So what Kevin just talked about is in that document, and I will be sure that we add that into the plans tab as well. That $19 is first and last month, no shipping, no activation.
Yeah, that would actually say per Go Plus service, yeah.
Okay, and then Vince, I think we have a couple of other questions. I want to see if there's anything you want to add in before I open up to just a couple last questions here.
Sorry about that. That was the boys. They're obviously very excited about working with Agora as well.
On the commissions there, can you kind of give I know you just, maybe on the 3, can you just kind of give an idea, Jeremy, what they're getting?
Sure.
I know we don't need to go full detail on every single one, but on the commissions, just break it down a little bit.
Okay, so on 3, so that's for $69 a month, $22.45 is the commissionable value that goes into the comp plan. So as the rep, you're making $10 a month, $10.10 a month on the 3-pack. And then it just breaks down. Standard format that we always do it. It was just going to get really long on the tab, so I figured we could just keep that housed on a document, and it would be neater.
Okay. And we have Jim. Are you unmuted there? Jim Sanderson, you have a question?
I think so. Sorry, am I unmuted?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay.
We hear you.
Just sorry, late thought. Real quick question: can this be used mobily in a car? Advertising whatever services, while you're driving around. Can it be used while you're moving in a vehicle?
You can use it while you're in a vehicle, but as you're speeding by people, sometimes it'll show up and it'll only stay there for a short period of time because it's really for, again, proximity. So if you're a delivery person, you go to a lot of places and stay there, then it'll hit everybody in that area while you're there, and then when you eventually leave that place, that's why for delivery people, like they were saying, it actually works pretty well.
Okay, but say the realtor driving around town advertising themselves wouldn't work as well. They would need to be like at the open house.
Well, again, it'll work well depending because you don't drive around town and not stop. You drive around and you stop.
Oh,
and you're always stopping. So if you're driving, here's what I'll tell you where it really won't work well when you're driving, and that's if you're on a highway going from one place to another, it's really not going to do you much good, except at the rest area.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Let me see any other questions there. So, Dawn, you have another question? I want to ask that again. Is she unmuted, Jeremy? And then we'll get ready to wind this call down. So, we'll finalize with a few more questions. Thank you guys. Everyone doing a good job here. And we're already working on a deal already out of the gate. I've already got someone that's looking to get 1,000 of these potentially. So we're working on a really big deal with Kevin, and we've got someone going that's in the real estate industry. Donnie, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. What's your question?
Well, I just wanted to clarify because I'm familiar with the royalty gems. So with these products, you are not required to have the Bluetooth on, just Wi-Fi. Is that what I understood?
No, it's Bluetooth.
It is.
Bluetooth and location. Yes.
Okay.
With the larger units, the 1000s that are coming out, they will work with Wi-Fi also.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
It's a different signal. You can't do that in the small units because the battery life would be negligible.
And I would think these days most people have their Bluetooth on. I mean, we got our Bluetooth set up when we get into our cars, right? So if we get incoming phone calls,
exactly.
A lot of other apps use Bluetooth. So I think these days, Bluetooth and location are probably on a vast majority of users' phones. I mean, I know my Bluetooth and my location is always on. Always.
Yeah.
It's significant. People ask me, well, what are the percentages? I said, well, they're higher in states that require it while driving. There's states, so if you're required to have Bluetooth while driving as opposed to holding the phone up to your ear, which almost all the states have, there's still a few that don't, but all the states now that have that Bluetooth requirement, if you want to talk on the phone, is obviously the percentage is very significant.
Yeah. And we got one more question with Andy, and if there's no more after Andy, we'll go ahead and end this call. But yeah, Andy, you have a question here about solar installation companies?
Yeah, I was just thinking because I know that solar is getting very large. Obviously, solar installations, and the majority of them basically canvas neighborhoods. Same for roofing and siding and window companies, things of that nature. Has anyone of those companies approached Asirvia for this service, or do you think that would be a good market?
I know that there's a couple small solar companies that are beginning to use it, so I don't have any results for you. But what we told them was what the roofers were doing in Texas, and they said, "Wow, that makes perfect sense," because we give free estimates. So anytime you can offer somebody a free estimate, a free review, a free anything, you're going to get, while you're getting the exposure, you'll get the clicks. And that's really what we're going for. It's up to them to convert the business.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, that's what led me to ask that question, because solar, same thing. If they're installing a panel, if they're doing the installation, they could have this with them right there while they're doing the installation, just like a roofer would.
I think that would be very similar. Hey, one last thing that I wanted to point out to all of you that are live on the call or listening to this in the future, underneath the Marketing Tools tab, that feature list, which is also found in the Plans tab, we're keeping that in there. But then there's also an instruction guide, so like a setup guide, basically, how to set up your Go and all of that. That's going to be very helpful. So I just wanted to point that out and let you guys know that you guys can click here and take a look at that instruction guide on basically how to get it started and get it set up. I've seen videos on it. There's lots of people out there that are working with Asirvia already that have been kind enough to show people how easy it is. And I watched one of those videos last week. Super, super simple. I mean, I don't think, Kevin, I'm not sure you guys could have made it any easier to set up. For what the technology is, you guys made the setup and the message changing and activating the account, and it's very, very easy.
You should put that video back here embedded. Hey, Kevin, that actually brings me to a really good question. So when they sign up, they get a back office. Does that allow, we don't have it here, but do they have ability for, tracking how many clicks they got or actions that were taken? And so they get basically, can you talk about the back office they get?
Sure. The back office, which basically is for, for them to do proximity stuff, is for, activating their Goes when they receive them, which is as simple as putting in a 5-digit code, which is etched into the back of the Go. So you can't lose it, you can't forget it. It's there, it's etched, so you always know which one it is, which makes life a lot easier. And we did that because people were trying to write on the old ones because they weren't etched in, so they would lose the stickers on them. So we now etch it in so you can't lose the name of or the identifier on the go. So you can always have that. That takes about 5 to 10 seconds each to be able to do. So it's very simple. And then each tab gives them, you can put basic messages on. If you have the Plus service, there's another tab to create. And you can create as many messages as you want on those tabs, and then you just can swap them in and out. It's a toggle feature on the Go tab, either basic or Plus. So it's a toggle, and then it's a drop down to attach the message to that particular Go. It's a piece of cake. On the dashboard, it tracks each Go and the exposures on a daily basis. At this time, it doesn't track click-throughs. So sometimes people say, well, what qualifies to show as a number on there? It's showing up on people's phones. It's people clicking through, and it's people sharing it. So all of the above will come through as a number. So someday you may have 50, you may have 75, you may have 120, depending on where you are. If you go to a ball game, you may end up with a few thousand. If you go to Disney World, or if it's a ball game, you end up with a few hundred. Some of the people went to Disney World, ended up in the thousands. So it's kind of crazy. It'll bounce all over depending on where you are and how many people are in that vicinity.
But so you are tracking. Okay, good. All right, very good. So thank you very much, Kevin. We're looking forward to working with you, and we're also looking forward to more of your jokes, right? Kevin's a lot of fun to work with, so we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Looks like Andy has one final question. Let me double check here. Andy, what's your final question here?
I don't know if I missed it, but okay, if I'm with a customer and so to sell it, we go to the form page, correct?
Correct. You can go to the form page right here, Andy, if you're still seeing my screen, and just click where it says click here. Or you can also click right there where it says visit special offer. That takes you over to this page which says become a customer. You want to first select what country they're located in, which I think will probably be for us the United States all the time, or a good majority of the time. And then their customer is just going to put in their information, right? John Smith, John Smith Inc., John Smith at johnsmith.com, right? His email, all that information. Create username and password. Select which package they want.
So that's for them. The login details is for them.
Correct. That's going to be for their account. Whoever the user is, whoever the person is that's paying for that service, it's going to be their information. Okay.
So how does Agora or Asirvia know that it came from, other than it says it's an Agora referral? How would they know it's me or whoever it is selling it?
Well, because your customer is going to be a member, or you would create them as a member in our account, in our system. So if John Smith is your customer, in your downline, then when Asirvia says we had John Smith that was a paying customer this month, they send the data. We know John Smith belongs to Andy. You're accredited for that.
So obviously,
and have them put the name of their company in there too, because we can track it by their company. There's a couple ways we're going to be able to track it: by name, company, or email, phone. All that information that we can track it to you, and then we take that data and then make sure it uploads into your account.
Okay.
Yeah, just tell them to be consistent between the two companies. If they use the same information on both, it'll be a piece of cake. If they use differing information, it'll be a pain in the butt.
Right.
So whatever information you sign them up with to be a member with Agora, make sure that same information is here. And that'll make it really easy. But we'll still figure it out if not. Because we're not going to...
we'll figure it out. It'll just...
Yeah,
we'll make it work.
But it'll speed things up, yeah. And then, also just to remind you guys, on products like this where Asirvia is doing the billing, it's just easier because of all the options. There was no way that we want to do the billing on it. Just to let you guys know that whenever we collect the billing, we actually... Jeremy, can you go to our dashboard real fast? The dashboard. So whenever you have a sale that we collect the billing, it will show up immediately right there in your team volume report. If you click on that team volume report right there, it will show up here. Whenever there's a sale that takes place, this is a test account, so there's no data in there. But whenever there's a sale that takes place with a vendor like Asirvia, there's a few others in here, where they're collecting the money, we have to wait till we get the money, and then we'll input the data into here. So if you want, you can keep track on your own somewhere, but it is still all being tracked on our end. But we can't put the data into here until we actually get the money. And then, maybe in the future we might do some API stuff, but that's how it is for now, just let you know. So you may not see it here, but we still have record of it. But you may want to keep your own records just to be safe. It's always good to be safe than sorry. So with that being said, we really appreciate you, Kevin. Appreciate everyone on the call today. Like I said, just a really great product. There's a lot of excitement about this because it really does work. It's cutting edge. What's really fun about Agora is what we created in the marketplace is the ability to take products like this and other products and walk in and really help the business owner. And this is a product that can really help business owners and sell their product. It just has so many applications. It's just wonderful. And Kevin, I just can't thank you enough. I'm glad we're able to get this in here, and I'm really excited about what you're doing. I can really see the vision and your heart. You're working really hard in your company, and we really appreciate it. We're glad for the partnership.
Well, thank you. Really look forward to working with you guys.